Alright, it's been a while since I've done a budget themed video, and since we're deep in winter, I thought I'd put together a gourmand list, a delicious fragrances list, and this is delicious fragrances, a top 20 list of delicious fragrances under $100. So if you're curious to learn about these fragrances, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. Today we're talking about delicious fragrances under $100. A lot of these can be found around 50 bucks. Some are even less, some more of course, but they're all under $100. And the best way to get the best deals is to do a search online in Google to see which websites come up for which price the cheapest or less expensive. Some of these probably are not at discounters, so that's why they'll have like a suggested retail price. So you'll have to take advantage of like promotions within the website the fragrances are being purchased and things like that. But the majority of the fragrances are fairly inexpensive. We're going to start off. Oh, one thing I should say is you should definitely look into sales. Some of the websites even offer sales, and some of the websites do 40, 30, 20, 50% off sales. So I always take advantage of those kind of situations. So let's start the first fragrance going to the house of KORRES, who does 25, 20, 30, 40% off deals. This is White Tea, the first fragrance, a very, very cozy tea fragrance, but also very, very delicious. If you like kind of like cozy and very soothing, relaxing fragrances, but the idea of tea, and I find tea fragrances to be very delicious, but they almost have this kind of like calming effect when I smell them. So they have a bit of earthiness, but not necessarily going full on gourmand, still kind of in that delicious direction. White tea from KORRES is really, really delicious and also very soothing and calming and relaxing. It has floral touches, it has tea of course, and it has citrusy touches as well. So white tea starting off at number 20, and then going to the house of this is Franck Olivier. This is Oud Vanille. I'm featuring it lower because it does have that oud, but it does have kind of gourmand touches as well. So kind of featured in this list of fragrances. And also this is fairly inexpensive. You can find deals on this one for around 30, 40 bucks, maybe even a little less, maybe a little more. But it is definitely very vanillic. It has lots of woodsy notes, and it's got rose in there. So it's kind of like a rose oud gourmand, but there's caramel, there's raspberry, there's patchouli, there's spices. It's quite delicious and definitely a very perfect fragrance to wear in the winter time when it's got this heavy thickness about it. But it's not necessarily full-on gourmand, but still definitely very delicious. So Oud Vanille is the fragrance at number 19. Going to the house of this is Yves Rocher. Yves Rocher USA website has promotions, 40% and 50% off sometimes, and this is a fragrance that suggests a retail 85. When you get it for their 50% off, it's half the price obviously, so it's under 50 bucks and so on. So this is the fragrance called Sable Fauve, and for me this is a resinous tonka bean fragrance with ambery touches. It's benzoin in the end, and it's got tonka beans and labdanum, so definitely kind of a resinous sweet amber fragrance that's quite delicious, and I feel like you can totally pile the stuff on and smell delicious and really, really wear it and enjoy it. So Sable Fauve is the third fragrance, which is at number 19. It's not necessarily full-on gourmand, but still very, very delicious. Moving on to the house of ZARA. This is Rich Warm Addictive, this one right here. This to me is the latest edition, and I still find it to be very vanillic. It's vanilla, rum, and peony, a bit floral, a bit boozy, very creamy. I feel like there's sandalwood here, milkiness a bit as well, like lactonic qualities. And it's just part of a tobacco collection of fragrances. I don't get much tobacco in this. It's full-on gourmand for me. It's ranked here at number 17. There's other fragrances I'm feeling currently, but Rich Warm Addictive from ZARA is number 6. Fragrance is from a house called Tesoro d'Orient. This is a fragrance brand from Italy, and I discovered this recently, although it's been a couple of years, and I've had it here, and I recently pulled it out and I thought this is a really delicious fragrance. It's a fragrance called Myrrh, this one right here, and even though it's got lots of resins, including myrrh, there's a fizziness, like a sparkling effervescence about it. It's lots of ambery touches, and it's got amber, vanilla, sandalwood, there's musk, orange, benzoin, Opoponax, bergamot, so it has kind of this fusion of resins and amber and sweetness with amazing major orange presence here. So it has kind of like a fizzy, gourmand, amber kind of vanillic myrrh fragrance experience. So it's Myrrha from the house of Tesoro d'Orient. Really yummy fragrance. If you don't know that one, check it out. So this is another fragrance from the house of LALIQUE at number 15. This is Le Parfum, this one right here. So Le Parfum is LALIQUE's vanilla fragrance, and even though it's got a very feminine bottle, a man can totally pull it off. It's basically kind of a lightly green vanilla fragrance. It features vanilla with tonka beans, there's sandalwood, heliotrope, there's West Indian bay, almonds, jasmine, and pink pepper. So there's definitely an almondy presence, a very powdery presence. Heliotrope, almonds give you that kind of almondy kind of nuttiness in here, but that West Indian bay gives you like a light greenness running throughout it, and some spices and floral touches. It's quite yummy, delicious to wear in the winter time. It's Le Parfum from the house of LALIQUE. Moving on to the house of Reminiscence, this is Dragée, this one right here. So this to me smells like a little bit like Love Don't Be Shy, going into the almondy direction of Love Don't Be Shy. Dragée, it's basically like Jordan almonds, kind of like almonds that have the candy outside. So it's almonds with almond blossom, orange blossom, vanilla, musk, cardamom, mandarin orange, petitgrain, and plums. Very delicious gourmand, powdery, definitely feminine leaning bottle, but if you're a man and you love gourmands, I totally wear that one. And as I said, it kind of reminds me of Love Don't Be Shy, but with a very major almondy presence. So Dragée is at number 14. Up next, going to the house of Al Rehab with probably one of the cheapest fragrances on this video. In this video, you can get this fragrance for around 10-15 bucks. This is Choco Musk, this one right here. Not very beautiful bottle, but the smell inside is really delicious and very, very cozy and yummy and comforting. It's got vanilla with dark chocolate, there's white musk, there's cinnamon, spicy notes, sandalwood, amber, myrrh, and a very light touch of rose coming in here, but for me it's the fusion of vanilla, dark chocolate, and white musk. It's a clean musk, it's very gourmand, it's very vanilla-like and chocolatey, but I would say this is not uber chocolatey, and they mentioned dark chocolate. I'm getting more like a lighter kind of a milk chocolate presence. So this is Choco Musk from the house of Al Rehab. I have links to all the fragrances in the info box. You can check these fragrances out and buy if you want at the discounters. Moving on to the house of Molinard, this is Vanille, this one right here. And Vanille from Molinard is basically vanilla. It's kind of like a sugar cookie vanilla. It's vanilla and more vanilla as the notes. They have credited several different kinds of vanilla, and basically, as I said, it's like a sugar cookie that's uberly boosted with vanilla in the ingredients when you make it. So when you smell that, there's a little bit of a baked caramelly sugar cookie like presence here, which is really delicious, and perhaps a bit of whipped cream touch in there as well. So Vanille from the house of Molinard, yummy fragrance. Whoops, check that out when you get a chance. Moving on to the house of KORRES once again, we've got two fragrances. As I said, we've got the white tea here, and then this is black sugar. This is to me kind of in that same ballpark of smelling distantly to Spirituous Double Vanille. It's black sugar, that's what the name is, but they feature brown sugar with vanilla, caramel, violets, Asian lilies. It's a really beautiful fragrance, but for me, I get the textural touches in this one, and I can experience the granular sugariness in here, but in the end, just imagine it very smooth and kind of caramelly, molassesy kind of a vanilla fragrance. So black sugar from the house of KORRES is at number 11. Then moving on to the house of 4711 Aqua Colonia collection. This is sunny seaside of Zanzibar, where we're kind of going into more of a tropical gourmand delicious direction, and maybe a bit of suntan lotiony as well. We've got coconut here, frangipani flower, vanilla, watermelon, definitely a bit marine aquatic thing happening here, but very vanillic and kind of like tropical flowers, and that coconut that comes in smells great to me. It's very delicious. If you're looking for something island getaway type of a gourmand delicious fragrance, try Sunny Seaside of Zanzibar. I think it's really, yummy fragrance to wear. Next, going to the house of Berdu. This is Assam of India, this one right here. So this one, this is one of the fragrances that you'll probably not find at discounters. So wherever you end up buying it, look for a discount or something, or wait for a discount. This retails for 100 ml $85. So it is kind of going up there with the price point, but it's a really delicious, very, very cozy fragrance. It's featuring notes of citron, tea, and sandalwood. For me, the citron almost has an orangey presence, and it kind of acts like a bit of like an orange creamsicle with tea. Yummy, yummy, yummy fragrance. The sandalwood in here is very creamy, smooth, and milky, and so the whole combination is really delicious to wear. So Berdu, Assam of India, a really yummy fragrance. Check that out. It is a house I've spoken quite a bit about. I haven't for a while, and I think they've got some great simplistic niche fragrances for beginners. Like if you're a beginner, you haven't really explored niche, you're into designers, and you want to like experience niche fragrances, definitely Berdu is one of them. All right, next going to the house of Comptoir Sud Pacifique. This is Amour de Cacao, probably the only chocolate fragrance I have here. Most chocolate fragrances tend to be on the pricier side, so I did find this one in my collection. I wanted to feature it here. And it is really a yummy cacao or chocolate fragrance. For me, it features lots of cocoa or cacao bean. It's vanilla bean, orange zest. To me, it smells like a very decadent chocolatey dessert with vanilla and a bit of orangey presence in there, kind of a thing. Kind of very gourmand and very, very yummy. So it is kind of on the simplistic side. You're basically really focusing on the cacao or the chocolatiness in here, and of course the vanilla. So it's powdery, definitely got some powdery elements, and then kind of like a bit of toasted touches under there when you're wearing it. So it's a really yummy fragrance, Amour de Cacao. This one from the house of Comptoir Sud Pacifique. Those are suggested retail about 85 bucks, but they are definitely available at discounters or almost half that price. Now moving on to another house called Essential Parfums. This is Divine Vanille, and this particular fragrance is it's about 75 bucks for $100, and depending on where you buy it from, or if you buy it direct from their website, look and see if you can find some discounts, because these are not at the discounters. But this is a yummy fragrance to me that is actually a great alternative to something like Herod or even Love Don't Be Shy, maybe a cross between Herod and Love Don't Be Shy. For me, lots of tonka beans here with benzoin. There's cinnamon, there's osmanthus, tobacco, dried fruits, cedarwood, patchouli, and musks. My favorite fragrance from this house, Divine Vanille, it's a job well done by the perfumer. It's Olivier Pechot, and I really love this. And if I want to like overspray Herod, which is really, really expensive, I would just go for this and really overspray it and just, you know, smell in the cloud of that whole Herod-like presence with a bit of touch of like Angel Share or Wajan or something. So this is Divine Vanille from the house of Essential Parfums. And then moving on to the house of Reminiscence once again, this is Guimauve, this one right here. Now this one is definitely a Love Don't Be Shy alternative. If you are a fan of Love Don't Be Shy, definitely try this one. They're not identical. It's in the same ballpark of that caramelly, marshmallowy gooiness contrasted with orange blossom. So it's almonds, neroli, vanilla, orange blossom, lavender, petitgrain, tonka beans, musk, and sandalwood. This one does feature almondy touches as well. And as I mentioned here, Dragé is all about almonds, but it does have a bit of a presence of smelling like Love Don't Be Shy, whereas here with Guimauve, it's definitely lots of Love Don't Be Shy qualities with a bit of, you know, some other things like the almonds. But really delicious Guimauve at number 6. And then moving on to the house of Laurence Dumont. You'll have to search for these fragrances, try and see if you can find them on eBay, because I see them there all the time. Tendre Madeleine from Laurence Dumont is a really yummy Madeleine smelling fragrance. If you like the idea of Madeleines, which I'm obsessed with, I eat them as much as I can because they're so delicious with coffee. This takes the, you know, the smell and you know, makes it smell like you're tasting or eating the Madeleines. But it's very vanillic and almondy. There's powdery touches here, and it's a sweet fragrance for sure with vanilla, almonds, cinnamon, bergamot, and musk. And for me, it's also a great alternative to something like Xerjoff's Lyra. So Tendre Madeleine is a yummy fragrance. Check it out. Please look for it. It used to be sold quite easily findable on Amazon. Now it's not really there much, but as I said, eBay has them. And if you're in Europe, you can probably buy these for about 35 euros. I think they're really inexpensive. So next, going to the house of Swiss Arabian. This is Shagaf Oud, this one right here at number 4. Yeah, this does seem like it's a clone, but it is quite nice. It's definitely a great alternative to Lancome's Oud Bouquet, and I think it's a job well done with this particular fragrance. It's pralines, vanilla, oud, rose, and saffron. Once again, it's kind of the similarly oudy, rosy like this one, but I find that the Franck Olivier Oud Vanille is a bit more oudy and less gourmand, and this one is more gourmand. So it's really delicious. It's a great combination of notes. The oud is there, but it's not like in your face oud. It's more gourmand to me, so it makes it for a very delicious wearing experience. So Shagaf Oud is the fourth fragrance. So next at number 3, go into the House of Imaginary Authors. It's a whiff of waffle cone, this one right here. So this is a great fragrance created by Josh Meyer for the ice cream chain Salt and Straw. It sells there at this ice cream stores or on their website online, and it also sells on imaginaryauthors.com, but this is not distributed to stores that sell imaginary authors, so it's only, you know, connected to the ice cream shop. It's also less expensive than the normal line of imaginary authors fragrances, whereas imaginary authors is $95, this is $65, but it's a really delicious fragrance, basically interpreting the combination of vanilla ice cream drizzled with salted caramel in a waffle cone. It's quite delicious. If you haven't tried it, try it. I think it's a great gourmand and perfect to wear in the winter time. It's a delicious gourmand for under $100. So it's a whiff of waffle cone at number 3. And then go into the House of Yves Rocher one more time, or Yves Rocher. This is Cuir de Nuit, this one right here. A fragrance that has an odd name because cuir basically is referring to leather. But this is not leather, it's vanilla, lots of delicious vanilla, kind of going in the direction of SDV, Spirituous Double Vanille. So it has some booziness and some spiciness, some floral touches, really, really yummy fragrance that I really love to wear and pile on. This is a new bottle. My older bottle is no longer. I used it up. I sometimes travel with it. When I go on trips in the winter time, I just spray away when I want that kind of vanilla touch. But this is yummy. And again, with this and this fragrance, Sable Fauve, look for their sales, 40–50% off. It's normally $85, so you can get it for under $50 when they're on sale. So Cuir de Nuit is at number 2. And then Mercedes-Benz Black is at number 1. Yeah, this is a really yummy fragrance. Thanks for talking me into it. I absolutely really love it, and I think it's very delicious and definitely a perfect fragrance. I feel, though, it's a bit on the light side. I think it needs a little more heft to it, don't you think? It's also a male-targeted release, but this is totally unisex. If you're a man, do you wear this? If you're a man, do you consider it unisex or feminine? If you're a man, do you totally love it? And what about you, ladies? Do you wear this stuff? Do you enjoy it? Let me know, put a comment down, but this is a really delicious fragrance. Really love it. I think it smells fantastic. Another alternative for SDV, Spirituous Double Vanille, and I really enjoy it. And I really like the bottle as well. Kind of a very unique looking bottle. I absolutely love it. So it's Mercedes-Benz Club Black at number 1. And that's basically it today. It's a top 20 list. What do you guys think about these fragrances? Do you enjoy them? Have you found great deals on these fragrances? And do let me know what other fragrances that are out there that are really delicious gourmand fragrances under $100, maybe under $75, maybe under $50. I'd like to find out what they are. Put some comments down so I can potentially do another video of this particular topic in the near future. One more thing before I go. I know you guys have been asking me to dig into this collection, and I've been wanting to dig into them as well. This is a collection that is a sister house to the brand Laboratorio Olfativo, and this is called Maison Tahiti. And I'm going to start digging into the collection, and I'll basically be doing a review of all 3 of the collections. This is a vanilla, and there's like 5 fragrances. There's a chocolate or cacao, and there's 5 fragrances, and then there's a coffee, and there's 4 fragrances. And from what I heard, they're coming out with a 4th collection. So basically, I'll do one very soon. Stay tuned. And then I'll do, within several weeks later, I'll do the other ingredient or note, and then another one. And then hopefully they'll launch the 4th collection. But if you're a fan of the Maison Tahiti fragrances, let me know. They're not that expensive, although they are more expensive than what would fit in this video. But they sell for $120 for 100 ml, which is quite nice. And if you can ever get discounts on these, then even better. But look for those videos, you know, dropping very soon. Other than that, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.